What's up, everybody? Cats007, and today bring you guys some Wildling gameplay. And yes, Wildling is the new main that I picked up. And listen, if you see me buy an accessory for any survivor, I'm probably gonna pick him up, or a new skin. So, so I ended up buying the Wildling accessory. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go crazy. So OT ended up losing his bot here. And why did I pick up Wildling? Well, it was what, 7 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up. I missed the first rank session. My team was just so pissed off at me. They're like, dude, you missed morning sesh, and they had to pick up somebody else, and they didn't do so well. Unfortunately, they only gained like 2 stars, but as soon as I got on with the guys, you know, we sync very well, and we got a straight win session this afternoon. So I picked up Wildling because Aaron wakes him. He's like, hey, Gets, wake up, Gets, please wake up, wake up. I'm like, huh? Join VC now. I'm like, okay. So I joined VC with Overthrown Aaron. And he's like, dude, you should pick up Wildling. I'm like, why Wildling? He's bad. He's like, what if they ban your forward? And I'm just like, okay, they ban my forward, play something else. Wildling is not that good. Overthrown tells me, dude, he got adjusted. I'm like, what do you mean adjusted? He's better now. What do you mean better? Well, now he decodes as fast as a forward, so I can still promote the same Cypher Rush. And the big issue why I never picked up Wildling in the first place was because I hate not Cypher Rushing. If we don't Cypher Rush, we don't win. Period. I don't care what no one tells you. If you don't promote Cypher Rush, you're going to lose, or you're going to end up getting a draw, you know? And that was probably the biggest reason why I never played Wildling. I have no problem picking up any character as long as it helps my team. But Aaron was like, dude, competitive aspect, you can definitely play Wildling. I'm like, competitive aspect, what do you mean? Well, he decodes as fast as a forward, his movement speed increased, and there was some adjustments to his board. Of course, the duration of the board decreased. I had this conversation with John Zhao, who's probably one of the best Wildlings in the server. He's like, dude, I hate it. I can't have as much fun anymore. From the competitive aspect, the tournament aspect, Aaron's like, dude, this could work. Just give it a try. I'm like, okay, I really don't want to. Aaron's like, you don't have a choice. Pick up Wildling. I'm like, okay. So I ended up playing him in ranked today. Yo, and I went crazy with Wildling. So I was learning a few tips and tricks. We were doing customs, going back and forth. And it's just timing with Wildling. The only thing that sucks with the Wildling is, like, compared to forward, you have to die in the open. And I know doing this in ranked is really hard, compared to, like, you know, a 4-man comms where you're like, yo, I need you to die here, not die in a tight corner, you know? With forward, I'm really comfortable forward where I can get those cheeky little angles, you know, stun here, stun there. With Wildling, I'm much more comfortable with dying in the open because I feel like that's much more beneficial compared to dying in a really tight space where, like, a hunter could bell me or a geisha, use a butterfly to catch up, you know? So I'm sneaking around, use the little whistle thingy. I don't know what to call it. I'm not a Wildling main. Well, not yet, at least. So OT ended up losing both bots, right? And he didn't decode a main body. So Cypher Rush is terrible at the moment, you know? And it's unfortunate. Situations like this does happen. And what my job is as a harasser main is to kill as much time as possible. Any harasser main will tell you this: you need to kill time. Whether it be forward or cowboy, even Wildling, you want to kill as much time as possible for your teammates to decode. And the build I'm running is Tide Turner and Spectator because theoretically, you know, hunters are not going to chase a Wildling first. Now, listen, if I was a violinist, well, I am a violinist main. Duh. I got a beautiful stun here, but I wouldn't chase a Wildling as a Vio. You guys were freaking flaming me about that in the comments. Anyway, as a violinist, I wouldn't chase Wildling, but I will chase a forward, you know? And chasing a forward is a good option. And something that was also mentioned by Aaron was like, listen, dude, they ban your forward in tournaments. You can axe Alien, you can axe KKZ, they ban forward. And it's a very smart ban because against BQs, they can turn that draw into a win depending on what you're doing. And forward is very strong. It's why he's considered meta. So like, yo, dude, you should pick up Wildling, and Wildling wouldn't be a bad pickup. And something I've noticed in rank is hunters won't chase a Wildling. They'll chase a forward, but they won't chase a Wildling. And when you don't chase a Wildling, you're literally rotating off my Cypher, and I'm on comms. I'm like, yo, this is where he's going, blah, blah, blah. He's not going to chase me. And you're going to see a lot of that in the next gameplay coming up. So getting back into the former gameplay where Numer's kiting, we're behind a Cypher. OT's bot died, and we're also decoders. So we're behind a Cypher. Numer's kiting this Cypher, so I'm like, yo, I need to pressure a new one. Gets a beautiful pal stun. Unfortunately, Geisha pops the excitement. Numer portals, catches up, and there's not really much he can do in this scenario. This is a very good geisha, by the way. Numer gets hit under the pallet. Miaz are trying to do that cipher. That cipher is around 72%. I'm like, you know what? Let's just rush it. Rush that cipher, and I'm going to pressure the rescue. So it's either he goes after the mercenary, or you go after the wildling with a boar protecting the priestess. Either way, if you have normal that, I'm going to go do a new cipher, and you chase somebody else completely different. I'm still at full health. So I'm going towards the chair. The geisha is putting pressure on the cipher and the chair going back towards me. Now this pallet was thrown. I didn't want to vault it because, I might get terror shocked. So it hits me. I'm like, I bet. Hop on my board, and I'm just going to protect Numer as long as possible. Numer dips, and Mia's like, yo, dude, the cipher was prime. I'm like, okay, got you. So in case he abnormals it, I'm just going to push him away. Miasma gets almost hit, didn't get hit. I took the hit instead. Hits Miasma, and he's gone. Now, if I was a forward in this instance, that geisha would have chased me. But fortunately for me, I'm a wildling. He's going to go after the mercenary, and Merc has Elepads to kite with. I think Merc had like 3 Elepads, only used 1. So I'm going to the gate, but look what I'm doing. I looked at Top Broken. I looked at Graveyard. Dude, dungeon is at locker. Can you make it to locker? He's like, yeah, I got 2 Elepads. I can make it work. Priestess is gone. The Cypher is prime. So because we put pressure, the Priestess is gone. Not a kiting option. And Miaz is doing a good job. Throws his pal in front of him. Does not let the Geisha dash. But because the Geisha ran Trump card and ran Excitement, he has to switch. But at the cost of slow pallet breaking speed. And Miasma ends up making it to dungeon. And that is GG's. Now, I mentioned something about rotating when you find the wildling, and you see this against the BQ. Starting off with the spawns, I saw the silhouette in the distance. The silhouette is like kind of seeing like the shadow of the hunter in the far distance, and you usually get that when you know your spawns. For example, Aaron made us learn every single spawn, even the little corner of her eye to see the hunter, even if you didn't get the key spawn. Every little thing counts. So everyone's rotating accordingly. Numer's like, dude, he's leaving me, going somewhere else. And I'm at Graveyard. Miaz was the next one looking out. He's going to Shack. So Overthrown rotates from Shack. Miaz was watching. Where is he coming from? Either Church or Shack. Miaz sees the BQ in the distance. He's going to move. He's going to go around. Ends up wasting an Alpad over here. The BQ tries getting a cheeky little hit using the mirror. It's going to be really close. He doubles back. Has 1 Alpad. Beautiful Alpad right here. Absolutely sexy. Avoid getting hit. Very good distance for Miasma. He's ended up going towards Graveyard. Ended up chasing me. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to sneak around, use my whistle. You know the vibes. Trying to chase me, and I'm just like, okay, well, you're going to chase a wildling. You just use your mirror. There's a cooldown in place, so I don't have the board just yet. If you chase me, I'm just going to use my board, go all around the map. And because I have that speed boost, I can just, like, run a diagonal way so I don't get sandwiched. So Miasma ends up using another elbow pad. I go back to Graveyard. See, if I was a forward, that BQ would have slugged me down. If you notice in the tournament against All For One versus B4U, All For One did go against the Dockman's forward and ended up slugging down Dockman's forward. Something you've seen a lot, And I'm using this from like experiences that you've seen, everyone has seen, so it's a lot public, So second round hunters will chase forwards, but when you see a wildling, you're like, wait a second, I am not gonna chase you. You're just gonna kill more than 60 seconds of my time, So it goes all the way back to the grave here. And because we had such good rotations, did not find the perfumer once. And theoretically, I'm thinking, if there's a perfumer, I'm going to run Blink. I need to find that perfumer. It's like Dream Witch, and you have to find the mechanic. You find the perfumer, you bait the perfume, you blink, hit him, and then the perfumer is done for, literally. But because we kept rotating and communicating, then came to me, I'm like, yo, OT hide, ran to every single rescuer. Our perfumer was not touched at all. Unfortunately, Numer gets sandwiched here, gets hit. Good job, good discipline, running away from the mirror and getting sandwiched. Hiding behind the pallet here. Good discipline from the BQ. Going back and forth. Ends up getting blinked here. And that blink was meant for the perfumer. But because we had rotations, the perfumer was not touched for, almost 3 ciphers-ish? So it's going to be Miasma going in for the save. I'm going to keep the coding. Now, as soon as I pop a cipher, like I said, as long as you pop a cipher, then you can go crazy. As someone who plays harass remains, cowboy, forward, you always finish a cipher. No matter what you do, you always finish cipher. Miasma ends up going for the save, only gets hit once. Good discipline, not getting double hit. Sandwiching Numer here again. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm coming for you. I just finished my cipher. Where you at, buddy? He's like, dude, help me. I'm near a church. I'll be careful. There's dungeon here. Follow me. Stay in the open. Now, if you're in a tight space, there's not much I can do, and I end up getting hit. So I'm putting pressure back and forth. Going back and forth with Wildling. This BQ's trying to hit me, going back and forth. And the picking up, I'm like, no, you're not. Put him down. So I'm taking a hit, but look how much distance Numer had. Going all the way to fourth breakable to third breakable. And we're just killing as much time as possible. And I think I'm ending up messing my stun here. I'm going back and forth. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Going back and forth. I pushed away a little bit too far, and my max type was slower. See, if it was forward, I probably would have got that. But, you know, I'm a new Wildling, you know? It's a learning experience. Ends up hitting the grave here, but that one stun avoided Numer going to basement. Good job, OT. Pops the Cypher. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm low-key screwed. So going back and forth, I'm just like, okay, thanks, OT. Ends up mirroring. I break the ankles, and then hits the wall. I'm like, yes. And the mirror is following me, and I see OT. I'm like, yo, dude, why are you going for the save? What are you doing, dude? So I take the hit here, assuming that the BQ's near. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm going to take the hit. You guys just have to skedaddle. Literally take the hit, and OT ends up running into the BQ. This match could have been thrown. Could have been a lot worse. But, hey, we prevail. I do have Sticker. I'm running a spectator build, and I'm healing up quite fast. And I'm like, yo, get to the gate now. I'm just going to bore over there, you know? And we're all looking for dungeon. We all know where dungeon is. It's at top broken. So either way, I get to the gate or I get to dungeon. Something's going to work, you know? So I'm about to self-heal. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Okay, I'm going to get up right now. Numer goes down. And I'm like, okay, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? So that's where he was chaired. I'm going to get on my boar right here to get to the gate. And get on my boar. Ends up teleporting to the wrong gate. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to get to the gate. Miasma, stay here. Body block for me. You're still full health. And because of the tension, you know, I can get smacked off my boar and then smacked again. And Mercenary can still get hit. So I'm making my way to gate. This is GG's. I'm learning Wildling. It's a learning process. And I can't wait for you guys to be here with me. I'm Cat7, and I catch y'all later. Peace.